The probability of any event is equal to the number of ways you can succeed and have that event versus the total number of ways to have an outcome. I'll give you an example. What is the probability of throwing a head when you flip a coin? Well, the number of heads is 1, and the number of possible things you could flip is 2. You got heads and tails. So the probability of heads on a coin toss is 1 over 2, 50%. So let's use that kind of logic here and talk about this bag full of marbles. So we have here a bag with 8 red marbles in it, 7 white marbles, and 4 blue marbles. Okay, so total, if we count that up, that is 19 total marbles. What's the probability of pulling a red? Well, there's 8 ways I can succeed at pulling a red. So that is going to be 8, and there's 19 total marbles. So it's just 8 over 19. That's my probability. It's like almost half. Next, what's the probability of pulling a blue marble from what remains? I want to focus on that word for a moment. What remains? How many marbles are there left in the bag? Well, there's not 19 anymore. There's 18. So I take my number of blue marbles, that's 4. These are the number of successes, versus the total number of marbles in the bag. That is now 18. So you can say 4 over 18. You could say 2 over 9 if you want. That's the same probability, right? But that's going to be my answer for this one. Now, the next one, what's the probability of pulling another blue marble? Well, this time, there's not 4 marbles in the bag that are blue. There are 3 blue marbles because you just pulled one of them. So I've got 3 blue marbles out of a total of, how many are there here? We've got 17 marbles left in the bag. So these are my answers for the first 3 questions. You can see the number of marbles in the bag is dropping, and so is the number of successful blue marble pulls, or whatever color I want to pull out of the bag. Now, considering these as independent events, okay, what is the probability of all 3 events happening exactly in the order that we went here? All you do for this, because we're talking about an and, okay, this is event 1 and event 2 and event 3. That means we're going to use multiplication. Okay, so the probability total is going to be the first one, 8/19, times the second one, 2/9, times the third one, 3/17. I strongly recommend using a calculator for this. And then you put your answer for whatever that is. I don't know. Do some fraction multiplication. That's your probability for doing all 3 of these things exactly as described. Now, here's the wrinkle. There are more than one way to pull 1 red marble and 2 blues out of this bag. And I'll give you some examples. You could go red, blue, blue. That's a possibility. But another way you could do this is blue, red, blue. And another possibility is blue, blue, red. Those are all possible ways to pull out 1 red and 2 blues. So we say there are 3 different permutations, 3 ways to pull out exactly the types of marbles that I want. Now you might ask, well, is the probability of each of these ways the same? Right? Is the probability of red, blue, blue equal to the probability of blue, red, blue equal to the probability of blue, blue, red? I encourage you to work through that for yourself. You're going to see that it is exactly the same probability. Okay, each of these has the exact same probability as before. And you know what? I really should just calculate what that is. 8 times 6. So this is, right here, this is going to be 48 over 19 times 17 times 9. Really big number. 48 over 2,907. That's the probability of red, blue, blue. And it's also the probability of blue, red, blue, and of blue, blue, red. So what's the probability of pulling 1 red marble and 2 blue marbles in any order? This is key, this phrase right here, in any order. What we're going to do is then add up these 3 probabilities. We're going to say 48 over 2907. That's the first one. Plus 48 over 2907. That's the probability of blue, red, blue. And then plus the probability 48 over 2907. That's the third way you could have done this. You add all of those up, and that is what goes right here. That's the probability of 1 red and 2 blues when you don't care about the order, and any one of these 3 was acceptable.